to you all. I see you are admiring our nativity window, yet another by Mr. Hardman, all part of the Reverend Henry Clark's grand scheme. The dedication is of particular interest. To the glory of God and in grateful remembrance of their orphan childhood, watched over in this parish, Anne Hannah Jepson and John Bollard Wilson have erected this window, Christmas 1867. And in that inscription lies a tale, a church warden's tale, for they are just two of a great many to be looked over by this parish. But forgive me, let me introduce myself. Royston Poundliff, the latest in a long line of Poundliffs to serve as church wardens to this parish. So, where to begin our tale? The poor have forever been with us, but their lot and the burden on all parishes became so much worse after Henry VIII broke with Rome, dissolved the monasteries, and confiscated their lands. It is true that some were corrupt, but many were a great source of relief and charity. Once they were gone, the plight of the poor was stark. Little difference was made between those who did not want to work and those who could find no work. Both were categorized as sturdy beggars and vagrants, to be punished and moved on. Stocks and whipping posts were to be found in even the smallest of villages. Then came good Queen Bess, who cared for her citizens rather more than her father. The first poor law came into being in 1601, placing care and relief firmly in the hands of the 15,000 parishes across the land. My predecessors agreed the poor rate at the annual vestry meeting, and alms and aid were managed by the parish officers, among them church warden, overseers, and constables. All were elected by ratepayers, and every man had to take his turn. Overseers decided the aid to be given to the sick, old, and deserving poor. This was in payment, clothing, or food, sometimes known as the parish loaf. They also saw to the placement of children as apprentices or workers. Perhaps that is what happened to Anne and John in their childhood. Constables were in charge of keeping the law and moving beggars and vagrants out of the parish. Looking after our own folk is hard enough without supporting those from beyond the parish bounds. If that wasn't enough, maintaining roads and bridges was also their lot. As for church wardens, they had to make the system work, as well as caring for the church itself. But let me give you a flavour of the parish relief and duties, with a few extracts taken from records found in our old parish chest. Wid Pinfold shall have a pair of second-hand shoes bought her. Also that Anne Darby shall have 15 pence for work done. Also that Marty Lee shall have 9 pence for work. Mary Lee shall have a petticoat. William Wall to have a shirt. Thomas Howell's wife shall have a shift and a petticoat. John Andrew shall have a shirt, waistcoat and breeches, and a pair of second-hand shoes. William Wall shall go to Birmingham as soon as possible and be put under the care of Dr. Stevens in order to get a cure. The overseer of the poor shall pay John Ruston 7 shillings and 8 pence for 2 years' rent, due to Thomas Gervais Esquire from William Row on Lady Day last. Paid for a new whipping post and sills for ye stocks, 3 shillings and 6 pence. Paid off John Stone's bill for building new pillar and mending ye walls of ye bridge at ye bowling alley, £2, 8 shillings and 6 pence. So there you have it. The parish has been at the heart of all welfare throughout the land for over 2 centuries. But times are changing, and we now work to a second poor law. Outside relief is much diminished, and there has been a great building of workhouses managed by poor law unions. They are harsh places, and I am sure that our young orphans, Anne and John, are much relieved that it was not a fate to befall them. Perhaps one day there will be a fair and humane system, organised and paid for by the state, a welfare state. What a fine thing that would be. But I must take my leave of you. A poor law union meeting beckons. If you should chance upon the rector, you haven't seen me. Despite his advancing years, his energy and ambition are undimmed, and whenever we meet, there are new tasks for this beleaguered warden, more windows to fund and new furniture to fill our church. I bid you good day.